Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Let me show you what I have done this weekend. Mr. Mule, also known as Murray, has blinkers and running lights for when the headlights are on. And in the middle, those are brake lights. So that's kind of cool. Go up front. Got blinkers and hazards up front too, along with the lights. Now, this is a little kit that I got off of Amazon a while ago. It was kind of dumb because it had red lights and amber lights. I think I talked about this in another thing, but it had red lights and amber lights. So you'd think that, you'd think they would have different functions, but they didn't. They were just wired together. So that's kind of silly. So I just basically cut the red lights off of the harness and just using the amber lights for the blinkers. And if there's no red lights in the front, the two extra reds from the front plus the two reds from the back that aren't getting used, I just use those as just the lights to show when the lights are on, and brake lights. So that's kind of cool. And that's how that works. And then of course you got your right turn signal, your left turn signal, and then a horn. This used to be my horn switch, but instead of that, I've gone ahead and added a big old fog light that used to be on the Jeep. And I kind of have it wired in a dumb way. I'll admit that. I'm a man enough to admit that. But it's on a holding circuit, because I love holding circuits. But you just come up here, push the button, and, well, yeah, it's just a momentary push. Push the button, and then it activates a holding circuit, and voila, you have a big old bright fog light. Now, the way I have it wired dumb, the only way to turn the fog light off is to turn the key switch off. And I mean, that's kind of dumb, because if I were driving along at night and some oncoming traffic happened to come on, then I would have to stop and turn the whole thing off so that I could not blind them. And what I should do is just take power from the headlight circuit and then use that to power the holding circuit. And yeah, I should do that. I'm probably not going to do that, because I'm not going to drive this thing at night, man. When am I going to do that? And I'm certainly not going to drive it on a busy road. But so anyway, you can also, I've got a winch. Now this is the Murray, which, by the way, being that this Murray was the first, it's really the second, but we'll call it the first EV conversion that I did. I guess it's the third. It's the first EV conversion I did at our new house here in Tennessee. How about that? That's the Murray. So this is the one that I sold to my buddy at work, and I've got it back in the shop because it's having some controller issues, and I'm having issues with the tech support to get the controller sorted. It's not really issues. I rented the wrong programmer at first, and then I rented the correct programmer, but they didn't include the correct wires for that programmer. Now we got everything. It's about 4 weeks later, so poor Greg's kind of without a tractor, but that's okay. But he wanted me to take this 3,500-pound winch, figure out a way to strap it onto this bad boy, and I'm like, 3,500-pound winch for a 600-pound tractor is a little bit ridiculous. Now, there is a bracket up here. He's got a big old piece going straight across, but there's a bracket up there that originally held this winch right here. Now, I've got it mounted on a receiver, so you can put it into a receiver hitch. But that's a 1,500-pound winch. It's much more appropriate for this size of a tractor. But anyway, Greg may or may not know this or not, but he has given me this winch. We're probably going to do a little bit of horse trading, and anything that I, or partial of what I'm going to owe this tech support company for getting this thing going again is going to, we're going to do a little horse trading, and I'm going to end up with that winch. I don't see that winch leaving anytime soon. And let me see. Now, if that ends up coming to pass, then I will run these wires a little bit nicer so that you can't really see them. There's a reverse contactor a reversing contactor that I will hide somewhere else, and I'll probably have a switch on the dashboard and then a little plug for the remote. One other thing that I did is the DC-DC converter that takes the 96 volts from the traction pack and steps it down to 12 volts to keep the 12 volt battery charged. I used to have that so it was on with the key switch only, but the problem is there are vampire drains, and that little bitty 12 volt battery, or any 12 volt battery for that matter, those vampire drains will eventually slowly drain it to zero, and that's happened a couple times. And I need to get a jump start. And I say jump start, all I need is a cigarette lighter and some tiny little wires just to make a relay for the DC-DC converter to work. So I got rid of all that mess. Now I've just got the DC-DC connected straight to the battery. So anytime, well, it's always on. It's always on. So I don't even need to have that 12 volt battery plugged in. But in case I ever do need to do some maintenance or mess with something, I've made a little switch right here, and that'll cut power to the DC-DC. And it'll stop doing 12 volt things. I also left some room there because what I might do is I might put another switch right here, a momentary on, off, on switch that I could use to operate the winch. So if I wanted to stand here and do winch operations, I just reach back here and go meh, meh, meh. But probably not, because I'll have a remote. I mean, why wouldn't you have a remote? And I think the only thing really left to do is to put a proper 12 volt battery on there, because I'll definitely need a real 12 volt battery if I'm going to run a winch. The DC-DC will not cut it. So I'll need a proper 12 volt battery, and I could use a lithium battery like this one right here. Actually, that's all the winch kit that goes with that winch over there, remote and all that stuff. So that battery would actually fit either where that one is on this side or on the other side. And then I would like to put this inverter on there sometime, because it'd just be kind of nice to have a 110 volt. I've got a 110 volt powered little chainsaw that I use to do little chainsaw work around the little property here. Nothing serious, but and I did use this the other day. I loaded up the weed eater and the hedge trimmer and took this down to the end of the road and did weed eating and hedge trimming duties without having to walk carrying all that stuff. So it's coming in handy. I'm still looking for reasons to use it. I want to go drive places, but I don't really have anywhere to go. But anyway, I think that's going to take care of it for now. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.